Okay, y'all, let's get into the season finale of SWV and Xscape, Queens of R&B, right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video from your girl Slendria, all things CC, and today we are going to discuss the last episode of the mini series or season or whatever you want to call it of SWV and Xscape. Okay, before I do all that, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you for your continuous support. It's really appreciated. Guys, help me get to 100, past 100, please. I've been at 92 for a nice little minute. I've been putting out, videos more than usual. So I want to make sure that what I'm doing and what I'm putting out there is not in vain, not for nothing. I'm trying to entertain you guys as best as I possibly can. But anywho, if you guys could really do that, that would be great. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, then I'm going to tell you guys how I usually do my recaps or my reviews. I pretty much do not do scene by scene of anything. I just take out the pieces that stood out to me the most that I really wanted to talk about. So that's what I'm going to do because I don't want this to be too long. At least I'll be trying not to let it be too long. But anywho, so let's go into the beginning. The beginning left off from episode 5, when the girls sat Tasha down to talk to her about this allegedly kickback that her husband was getting on behalf of Xscape. Now, I don't understand how some of y'all don't even think that that is an issue. Because for one, Rocky is not Xscape's manager. Two, Rocky is only Tasha's manager. So he should only be getting money pertaining to Tasha, not the whole group and collective. So the story goes that, because they had worked with this promoter before, and the story goes that there were some text messages back and forth between this promoter and Rocky regarding $30,000. It said that the promoter gave him $10,000 at first, but the promoter said he wants 4 members, which means he wanted Candy to be a part of the group. At this time, Candy was doing her Broadway thing and she didn't want to be a part of the group. So they had to pretty much convince Candy to come back so that he can get his remaining $20,000 for the deal, right? Now, I'm going to veer off a little bit because I don't know if you guys recall this, but when Tasha did her very first video, her little artificial speak on it, I don't know if y'all remember when she was like, she mentioned the promoter situation and was like, we didn't want you back or some shit like that. So I'm like, you saying that then, but now it's all coming full surface. Like, y'all needed Candy to get that money, point blank period. So you had to save face even if you really didn't want to. And I don't even think it was Tamika and Tiny that didn't want to. It was just you, Tasha, that did not want to. But you wanted that money, you and your husband, so you did what he told you to do and butter Candy up, convince Candy to come back into the group so that y'all can make this money. But she tried to play it off like none of the girls wanted her back in the group. I highly doubt that. It was just really her who didn't want Candy in the group. But anywho, back to the scene. So, you know, when somebody is lying, when they start squinting their eyes like they can't see shit, and it's time, and she like, what is this? What is this? So Tamika and Candy are trying to explain to her what this is. And you know Tamika was about business because she came in with a motherfucking folder. Okay? She came in with a folder and copies, and she gave everybody a copy. And Tasha acting like she don't know what's going on. So Tasha decided she wanted to call Rocky and she telling Rocky what the situation is, and she like, let me put you on speakerphone. He was like, hold on, you ain't got to speak for me, or whatever he said. And he was just pretty much saying, I ain't got to steal from nobody. Da 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 da. We got the same text messages. You know, Rocky likes to talk in circles. And you can tell when he's lying, because he never finishes a complete sentence. So all the girls were just like, yeah, okay. So Tasha was like, so y'all believe this? Y'all think I did this? Candace like, no, your husband did this. She said, but I didn't do that. But your husband did it. Y'all are a team. You are one. Since you claim in that video of your apology video that you know everything, so how is it that you don't know about this kickback? Now, it is possible that she don't know. It is highly possible that she don't know about the kickbacks. But I highly doubt that she don't know about the kickbacks. There are situations where, you know, a spouse may not tell us another spouse about something because they know that it's not a good look, and it, you know what I'm saying, it'll make a rift between them two. So it is possible for Rock to be doing these little side deals without Tasha's knowledge. But I don't think that's the case. I think she knows. So of course that whole scene or whatever happened, and Rocky was just pretty much, you know what, baby, do what you gotta do, or whatever the case may be. I ain't did nothing, I'm done. So Tasha get up like, you know, I'm good. I'm about to go, whatever. So she's good for getting up and leaving. When the shit is hot, she gets up and she leaves. So that was that scene. Let's get to the scene where they are doing their rehearsing or what have you, because they did agree and they did get to the point where they did the show. So happy. So happy. They were rehearsing or what have you, and Coco, child, now you know damn well you ain't right for not having your medicine with you. Or not enough, I should say. Because the clip or the scene, she walking, she coming down from the what's her name, and she like, I'm not singing or whatever, and she was just like, I'm irritated, I ain't got no more medicine, I'm out, and I want to fight or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, okay, nobody's gonna say anything. Well, Lily said something, but nobody's gonna say anything as far as like Xscape or whatever. So the Taj jumped in because they like, oh, SWV was just doing extra in that moment. They were absolutely doing extra in that moment. You know, they trying to figure out how to blend the songs. Coco like, we don't sing gospel on our set and all this and all that. And it's like, okay, but you could sing secular music for years. Then you can go and do a gospel album, and then you're gonna come back to do secular music. So it's no different, Coco. It's no different. But anywho, so they showed Don Juan. He said that sound corny. And then Taj was like, who said what? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Who trying to boss us around or whatever. Now that Steve, he a snitch. Because he said it so fast, Don Juan. He a snitch. But it was just a whole lot of mess going on at that right there. That scene right there. So we're going to go to Candy when she was talking about they all got up the next morning or what have you without the production cameras because they wanted to really get everything situated because they still was not on the same page, and they didn't have long before they actually performed. So they all decided to, you know, come to the studio a little bit early. They had it for like 2 hours. Oh, excuse me. I'm actually bringing bits and pieces from Speak On It so that, you know, I can fill in the blanks where it needs to be, you guys. So she said they was there for like 2 hours, And guess who didn't show up until the very, very, very last minute? Tasha herself. And then she wants to bring her entourage. Oh, they trying to make her like the fucking Beyonce of gospel. Like, why do you need all this stuff? You didn't even need all this stuff when you was with Xscape. Why do you need all this stuff? But anywho, so they got through the rehearsal. They finally figured out how to do stuff. I know everybody is still talking about Week should have been the song, the clothes, or what have you. But like I said, for me personally, I think Understanding would have been was a good fit for the ending, because it went off on a more positive note. Like I don't know. Everybody's still debating about that, but at the end of the day, honestly, it just really does not matter, because both songs were bangers, okay? Both songs were bangers. So, that transpired. Tasha, when she left, I know I'm jumping back. Tasha, when she left the meeting with the girls, she got on the phone and she called her mama. You called your mama to tell on your sister. And I wonder what your mother had to say to Tamika, if she even spoke to her. I really want to know what she said to Tamika after Tasha told her mother. So let's talk about the day of the show. The day of the show, Tasha and her entourage, they did not ride with the rest of the crew. Tasha got her rental home or Airbnb, whatever you want to call it, because she has a whole crew. She has her husband. She has a makeup artist. She has a chef. She has this. She has that. She has this. Now, you mean to tell me, Tasha, that your husband couldn't have cooked you no egg whites and potatoes? I'm gonna need you to learn how to save some money. You don't need no chef. Hell, you could have cooked your own motherfucking stuff. From what the chef had cooked for breakfast for y'all could have did that shit yourself. I'm like, okay, see, at this rate, Tasha album better bring in millions, because the way she is walking around like she is the shit, like she is the Beyonce of the group, she gonna be broke. She gonna be broke by the end of the year. Because ain't no way I'm going to be having all this entourage with me just to show that I got some type of status. Like I got some type of, notoriety and stuff like that. I thought that was a little bit too much for someone who has not hit probably 500,000 copies yet on her album. That's a little bit too much. So I'm curious to see how this money is going to pour back into the label. How they're going to get their profit off of this. So, yeah. I was just like, Tasha, you're doing just so much. Now, I want to get to the scene where Tamika, and I got to give it up to Tamika, because she is a really sweet person. She's a sweet woman. Yes, she has her faults just like everybody else, but I appreciate the fact that she did try in this episode to speak to her sister. She tried, and Tasha was so nasty and so dismissive, because Tamika like, so where are we at as sisters? Tasha like, right there, and she walked out. So let's talk about present day. She's still trying to spin this narrative that she hasn't talked to her sister. She wants to talk to her sister so that she can get clarification about what she's talking about with this $30,000. Because she keeps saying that she found out at the same time that the audience found out. Ma'am, y'all recorded this TV show last year. So even if you didn't know back then, you knew last year. So you did not find out with the rest of us. I'm going to need you to stop. I'm going to need you to stop. Now, my thing is, once you found that out, why didn't you just get with your sister and be like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's see who actually took your money, because I didn't take your money. You didn't offer no resolution to that. You just keep hitting this. Oh, I want to talk to my sister so we can figure this out and woo, woo, woo. She tried to do that on the show multiple times. She tried to talk to you on the show, and you completely showed your ass because you knew you had this record deal, and you just thought that you was the shit, that you didn't need Xscape anymore, that you didn't need to mend the situation with your sister. So I'm just like, she doing too much. She's doing absolutely the most. And the confessional, the confessional with her and Rocky in there, he is getting too much exposure for somebody to be a criminal. Allegedly. He is getting too much exposure for somebody who we know is lying. I don't know what he was on in that confessional, but the way he was moving and twitching and shit like that, like, well, what was that? Like, it was just so awkward. Of like, is you sniffing something? Are you snorting? What are you doing? So I just thought that was interesting. I just felt like, you know what, hell, if y'all gonna give him the opportunity to speak his piece on the confessional, why ain't y'all bring in Tamika's husband and Tiny's husband and Candy's husband? Like, why not? You gonna bring husbands in? See, this is why Tasha and Rocky feel like they are the shit, because the show put so much light on them for just this negative shit right here. They didn't even really showcase Tasha's album process at all, even though that was not the reason for the whole show anyway. But at this point, shit, the whole fucking show got taken over by this damn $30,000. So the little bit we did see of her doing her little album or whatever, I mean, it was cute, but let's go into the wardrobe for the show, right? I personally thought that SWV could have dressed a little bit better. Like, I really did not like their attire. It was like it wasn't cohesive enough for me. That's just me. I just felt like they just threw whatever they had on and they wore it. Like, I wanted to see something a little bit more from them, but that, again, that's just me. Xscape, they do what Xscape does, and they actually dress, and they had their little sparkles and rhinestones and all that. Okay, I just wish that SWV would have at least all had outfits that kind of looked like each other or something. Like, it just looked like they was just not on the same page wardrobe wise to me. Okay, but it's not taken away from them. They the show was amazing. You would not have thought that minutes ago of the episode that they didn't have stuff together. They got it together. They performed in, I think it was in Ontario. Was it Ontario? Yeah, I can't even remember. But they performed, and when I tell y'all, the place was packed. Wherever they was at, it was packed. And everybody had a good time. The audience was singing everybody's songs at the end of the day, because that's all that mattered. They didn't care about who went last. So So the way that the performance was going, SWV went first, and then Xscape, SWV, then Xscape, SWV, then Xscape, and then little do you know, little Ti himself decided they was. I guess they all agreed for him to come out and be the middle act and do a couple of his songs that he got out or whatever. And I'm just like, well, why? Why? I would have felt better if they had another woman, a single artist come out and do something, since it was a woman group, woman vibe estrogen thing, you know? Like, I didn't see the need for T.I. to be there. Honestly, I did not need to see him perform. Honestly, I would have rather for Zanique to have came out and performed some of her old songs, or even her new song, or what have you. You know, I just felt that was just out of place for me. So yeah, that was that. And yeah, it started out rough, but it ended great. I'm happy that this show is complete and it's done, because baby, Lord knows, this show took us on a roller. It took me on a roller coaster, but this, you can tell, was some real reality shit. It wasn't scripted or any of that. This was raw and uncut. Okay, so I appreciate that. It was uncomfortable to watch some scenes at times, but I appreciate the authenticity that the show brought. You know, unfortunately, I hate the fact that SWV doesn't want anything to do with Xscape anymore. For real now. They sisterhood has been tarnished. There is no hope for a SWV Xscape tour, because SWV is going on another tour. So I don't know if it's because, you know, they got into it with Xscape, or this was something that was already in the works. So I don't know, but it would have been dope to see them go on tour, honestly. I know a lot of people are asking about a season 2. Like, I would do a season. I would like to see a season 2, but switch up the groups. Now, if you keep Xscape on there, then okay, yeah, you could bring on another group. But it would be interesting to just see different groups. Well, it's not even a lot of female groups anyways. You got, yeah, I was going to say Total, but Miss Pam, she ain't going to do that. We got 702, 3LW, that's out the window. You got TLC. Shit, who else? Like, I don't know. But if a season 2 is in the talks, it would be interesting to see if they bring SWV and Xscape back together, or they change up the cast. Who knows? But it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I don't think that SWV and Xscape will do anything with each other for a long time. Tasha, yeah, she's not going to be back into the group for a long time, because she's so focused on her little solo career. Now, let me talk about a little some of the stuff that Candy talked about in her speak on it, because she actually did a recap of all the episodes leading up to the last episode, and then she did her speak on it. She talked about the name, because somebody in the chat had asked about the name. I did not know that Tasha and Tamika, her and her sister, were the actual owners of the name Xscape. So I was like, oh, okay, so in a sense, they can still use the name, in a sense, because you got somebody who is still part of the group who owns part of the name. But there was a little situation where they wasn't sure if they was going to be able to use the name. So their agent or their representative, Xscape, reached out to Tasha's people, Rocky and them, reached out to them to see if it was okay to continue to use the name Xscape. And her people said, okay, yeah, that's cool. And I'm like, do they have to get, well, I guess so. If two people are, yeah, they would have to get a majority vote. So that was interesting. And then she went to talk about how and why she wanted them to change the name to just, Xscape 3 when she wasn't around. Because she didn't want people to get confused or to be expecting her to be around when she wasn't going to be around and all that. And that still don't make sense to me, because now that you told me that Tasha and Tamika are the owners of the name, it really did not matter if you was there or not. They can still use that name, but you know what I'm saying? It's their name. They can still use it. Candy really did not have any leg in that race on if the name was to be used or not. But they end up going with Xscape 3. So, yeah, I don't know, y'all. That was a little bit of interesting, piece of information that I never knew. I never knew that it was just them two that had the rights to the name. I actually thought all of them had rights to the name, and I feel like it's probably why Tasha feels like she's shit. I own Xscape. That's how I own Xscape. So I should have the most money. I should have the most notoriety. I should have the most this. I should have the most that, because this is my name. Xscape is my group. So yeah, she has a leg up in that sense. Well, her sister do too. But it just all makes sense on her whole attitude, her whole demeanor throughout these years. Now I see why. She owns Xscape. She don't own the people, but she owns the name. She can do whatever she want to do with that name as long as her sister is okay with it. But now that they are not on the same page, I wonder how that's going to work, because I don't want to still be in business with somebody that is accusing me of stealing $30,000 and my husband getting kickbacks. So I'm wondering, is Tasha going to bow out from being an owner over the name, or is Tamika going to bow out from being an owner over the name? That's going to be interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. I don't know, y'all. What y'all think? I don't know. Oh, and then Candy said that maybe like a couple of months after the manager said that it was okay for them to use the name, Tasha came and hit everybody up and said, okay, so what are we going to do about this name, and whatever the case may be. So Candy said, so she took the screenshot that her manager sent their representative and she sent it to them, and she was just like, okay, well, cool, okay, I'm cool with it, whatever. So I said, yeah, see that right there, Tasha could really stop some shit just with that name alone. She could. Yeah, they might want to go ahead and just change their name. Just go ahead and change the name. Change the name. Now, my question is, do they have the rights over Xscape 3? Who has the naming right for that? Because if nobody has the rights to that name, then all three of them need to go ahead and own that name. I understand that Xscape is the name that got them on the map, but now, because things have transpired the way that they have, and Tasha is really just pushing y'all asses to the wayside, y'all need a new identity. Y'all need a new start. Y'all need a new beat. Like, yeah, y'all need that. If it was if they were able to do it with just those three without Candy, they can do it again without Tasha. So I'm interested to see if they're going to just continue to use the name, or they're going to go ahead and get their own identity from Xscape. So I don't know, y'all. I'm just rambling right now. I actually finished talking about the pieces that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I lied. I saw Don Juan's video, and he explained a lot about what happened at the rehearsal and how editing made it seem like Taj was talking to him when he said that sounds corny. He said Taj was not talking to me. He said we even had a conversation, and whatever the case may be, but she did not tell him to shut the fuck up. So I'm like, okay, well, shit, who was she talking to? He's like, there's so much stuff that y'all did not see because they did not put it in the episode. It's just so much stuff that went on that day that you did not see. And he also explained that, and Candy explained this too, when Coco said what she said about, I ain't got no medicine, I'm ready to fight, and all that craziness, right? Don Juan and Candy said that they did not hear her say that because they had their earpieces in their ear. They could not hear anything. But he heard Coco when she said all of that. So I was like, oh, no wonder nobody from Xscape had any pushback or anything to say about it. Because they really didn't hear what she said. That's funny. That's funny. And you can't hear what nobody say unless you speak into the microphone. So I was like, okay, it makes sense. Because Candy went and sat her ass down on the stairs, and she was just like, she was over it. She was over it. She was tired. So yeah, so Don Juan, he kind of like cleared that up or what have you. And he talked about how people was saying that he need to shut up and stay out of their business. I mean, it's kind of part of his business to be in the business. It's kind of his business to be in the business. Now what he said that's corny for, I don't know what it was, because I missed that part. I didn't even watch that part. But he said Taj was not talking to him. Period. And for all y'all who got something to say about him stepping into the situation, that's part of his business. He's part of the business management team. He needs to make sure that everything is on point. Candy would not have kept him around that long if he was not about his business. I respect that. I ain't got nothing else to say about it. I really don't care too much about him, what he does, whatever the case may be, whatever. But yeah, so the show was great. I enjoyed the show. I wish I was there, but it's all good. They all did amazing. They all did amazing. Now Tasha could go ahead and just solely focus on her shit and don't even come back. Like, it's just draining. Oh, let me just go ahead and talk about why I got a couple of more minutes on my camera or whatever. Watch what happens live. This girl just keep on lying. She just keep on lying. She just keep on lying. Now, what I was shocked to hear was when Andy had asked who was the fifth member or the sixth member of Xscape, and Tasha said Miss Joyce, Candy's mom, what have you. And Andy had asked her something about her mom or whatever, and she was like, yeah, she called me and she told me that I need to stop singing because I'm causing too much commotion, too much drama or whatever. And Candy was like, oh, and Andy was like, oh, she did, huh? So I was like, that's interesting. Like, I can see Mama Joy saying it, but I don't see Mama Joy saying it. I don't see Mama Joy saying it because I had to think about it. Like, you saying that she called you, but she don't even got your number. Yep, her daughter, your bandmate, don't even got your number. So how did she call you? How did she call you? And I think she ended up saying something about Instagram. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, you can call somebody on Instagram. You can, private message them or what have you. I don't know. Now, one thing about Mama Joyce, she ain't gonna sugarcoat shit. Now, if we need to get some receipts, okay, Mama Joyce ain't got no problem telling you, yeah, she said it. But I just feel like that part right there, Tasha, you really did not even have to bring in Candy's mama in the conversation. You really didn't have to. You could have just left it at Mama Joyce is the sixth member. You could have just left it at that. But you wanted to go into detail to talk about what her mama said to you to get extra sympathy, to make it seem like everybody's against you, to make it seem like her mama had an issue with you, and she, like, you could have just kept that to yourself. Like, now you see, I think you really want Candy to step to you, because everybody know that Candy don't play about Mama Joyce. Right, wrong, or indifferent, Candy do not play about Mama Joyce. And what happened? Candy got online and she responded, that's some bullshit. My mama don't even got your number to call you. That's some bullshit. I said, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Like, Candy, calm down. It is more than one way to call somebody right these days. But because Tasha did not clarify, at least that I don't remember, she did not clarify if it was through Instagram or she actually called her. But again, you can't call nobody on an actual phone if they don't got your phone number. So I just hope that don't spill over into a whole nother situation. I really, really, really hope that don't spill over to a whole nother situation. I don't think that he asked about her mom, because I really didn't see all of it. But the parts that I did see, I did wish that he would have, talked a little bit more about her mom and how she's doing mentally with all of this. Because she has been pretty much in the back since first episode for the most part. Or the last, was it the third episode when her and Tamika met up with each other? I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy. I'm happy that it's over with. They are all going to their respectable corners. Tamika's doing her thing. She has a single coming out with Method Man on April 22nd. I cannot wait. It sounds like it's going to be on rotation on the radio. Absolutely. I cannot wait for that. She doing her thing. And you can see a weight lifted off her shoulder. You can see she feels free with certain things. She's came to a realization of where things are with her and her sister, and she's doing great mentally. As far as I can see, she's doing great. She's hanging in there, and she's just enjoying herself. Like, she's really in a spotlight that's good for her right now, and she milking it. She doing her thing. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of all the Xscape members. Even though Tasha's, I'm still proud of her. She doing her thing. She doing what she always been wanting to do for the last 30 years. SWV, proud of them. They still going strong. I hope that there's some more music coming from them. I haven't heard anything, but I do hope that this brings out another album for them. And yeah. Lily's book, I'm gonna buy it whenever she's finished with it. And yeah, and that's just that on that. I don't have nothing else to talk about, y'all. I know I was a little bit rambling or whatever the case may be, but I just wanted to get on here and talk about it before I lay down, because once I lay down, it's a wrap. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next. What am I going to talk about now? I gotta figure that out. I gotta keep y'all entertained. I gotta figure out what show I'm going to talk about now. But until then, I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.